That magical place that you can call your own and it feels good to come back to.
There's no place like home.
Historically high home prices, coupled with high mortgage interest rates, have priced many Americans out of the home market. Many are becoming forever renters. But it's not always out of desperation. Many are making that choice willingly. What does that mean to you? In today's world, does it even make sense to chase that American dream of homeownership? Or are you better off renting and spending your money and energy on better things in life? I can give you one quick back of the envelope kind of method that can help you determine whether owning or renting a home would make more sense for you. It relies on determining how much house you need. According to this study from Realtor.com, if you need a smaller house for your need, renting often makes more sense than paying a mortgage for the house of that size. On the other hand, if you need 2 or more bedrooms in the house, the cost of renting that bigger home is often more than the corresponding monthly mortgage. So this would logically say that those with larger families often would do better by owning their own homes. Of course, this analysis simply compares monthly rents to monthly mortgages. It does not look at other expenses or considerations. And trust me, there are many. In any case, you should do a much deeper analysis before making a decision about such significant aspect of your life. And for making the decision, you must consider financial as well as emotional factors. Chapter 1. Financial factors. Buy versus rent. In 2019, homeowners in US had a typical net worth of $255,000, whereas the median net worth of a renter was just $6,300. That's staggering 40x difference between the net worth of homeowners and renters. While there are many reasons why homeowners typically end up with a higher net worth, including the fact that they typically start in a better financial situation. Here are the 4 reasons why homeownership adds to your net worth. First is building equity. One of the most significant advantages of buying a home is that it helps you build equity over a period of time. Equity is simply the difference of home's current market value and its outstanding mortgage. As homeowners make monthly payments on their mortgage, they gradually pay down the principal outstanding that they owe on their mortgage, thereby increasing their equity in the home. Unlike renting, where monthly payments do not really build any equity in the property, homeownership allows the owner to actually accumulate wealth over a period of time through these monthly payments. Second, potential appreciation in the property value. Historically, home values have appreciated over a long period of time. While there can be fluctuations in the housing market, general trend has been up, particularly in desirable locations with growing economies. This potential for appreciation can result in significant gains for the homeowner. As the property appreciates, homeowner can benefit from this increased value when they decide to either sell or refinance their property. Third, long-term investment. Buying a home can be seen as a long-term investment that allows the individual to secure their financial future. One can argue that having a home with mortgage is like a forced savings account, whereas each month you are forced to pay a mortgage and part of that mortgage goes towards building equity in the house. Whereas there is no such arrangement when you are renting and paying monthly rents. Last but not the least are the tax benefits. Homeownership often comes with tax advantages. In the US, homeowners can typically deduct interest payments as well as taxes, property taxes that is, from their overall federal taxes that they owe, thus reducing their tax liability. These tax benefits can result in significant savings for the homeowner. Wow, so many financial benefits? I'm sure buying the home is the way to go. Well, it might be. In fact, there are additional benefits that are more psychological. Chapter 2. Emotional aspects of homeownership. The very first one is the sense of stability and pride. The sense of identification and belonging that comes with homeownership is one of the most important emotional aspects of purchasing a home. Having a home can be a source of pride and identity and is frequently viewed as a sign of success and accomplishment. Having a place to call your own often contributes to an overall sense of well-being and happiness. Second, establishing roots and ensuring family stability. For families looking to establish roots and settle down, homeownership typically gives them a permanent place of belonging where they can raise their children. Owning a home in a family-friendly environment can give a secure environment for kids to grow, often fostering a sense of continuity and a feeling of home and community. Third is the freedom to customize and personalize. Homeownership provides the freedom to customize and individualize the living space to your own liking. Unlike renting, where restrictions of any sort of modification are very common. But homeowners, on the other hand, have almost absolute freedom to modify and change their property to suit their liking. Now I know why it's called the American dream. Well, about that. See, it wasn't always like that. The government as well as the Realtors Association may have something to do with that. Chapter 3. The Changing American Dream. Homeownership has played a central role in the American dream, shaping the country's culture and ideals ever since World War II era. After World War II, there was a staggering demand for houses as soldiers returning from the war sought homes and tried to settle down with their families. The government responded with initiatives like the Servicemen Readjustment Bill of 1944, also commonly known as the GI Bill, which provided affordable mortgages and helped with the growth of suburban communities. That was the era that marked a change from renting to aspirations of homeownership.
The attractive home of John and Margaret Bryant, the home they've always dreamed of, the happiest investment they have ever made.
Other industry groups like National Association of Realtors have also played a very significant role in promoting homeownership as the core part of the American dream. One wonders what was their self-interest in this. Government has played its role as well. For roughly 5 decades, the government-sponsored entities or GSEs like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mae have protected the possibility of the 30-year mortgage. That has helped promote the national mortgage market and ensured that middle-class Americans can become homeowners. So it's all a scheme? Now I want to know more about the renting option too. Chapter 4. The advantages of renting. First is flexibility. It starts with geographic mobility. One of the most significant advantages of renting is the flexibility that it provides you in terms of geographic mobility. Renters can easily move from one location to another without the burden of finding a buyer for their property. This flexibility is particularly beneficial for young professionals or students or those with the kind of jobs that require frequent mobility. Renting also allows individuals to explore different communities and neighborhoods before settling down or making a bigger commitment. Provides them a very interesting opportunity to try out a neighborhood, its community, its vibe, the commute, and determine if it's the right fit for them to make a long-term commitment by purchasing a house in that community. Another advantage of renting is a lower upfront cost. Unlike buying a home, renting a house does not typically require a substantial down payment. Renters do sometimes pay a security deposit, but that's typically very lower amount compared to the significantly large down payment that you may be required to bring in when buying a house. So this lower upfront cost makes renting a much more feasible option for those individuals without major savings in their bank account. Renters are also not burdened with any closing costs. Closing costs are significant high costs that a homeowner has to bear in terms of fees and taxes and commissions that are typically associated with the transactions of buying a house. Again, these costs prevent someone with low savings or low income from buying a house, but it allows them to rent a house without worrying about such costs. And I have this third one, which is the freedom from maintenance costs. Typically, renters are not responsible for any significant maintenance or repairs that the property may need. If the property does need such repairs, it's typically landlord's responsibility. All the renter needs to do is to call up the landlord and point out the needed repair to them. And it applies not just to the money and expense, but also the headache of managing that repair. All landlord's responsibility. And when you're renting, you also typically gets to avoid a lot of the regular maintenance costs that comes with a house. Lawn care, pest control, appliance repairs. These are some of the things that are generally handled by the landlord or the owner. So that relieves renters from all of these additional expenses, giving them a very fixed, predictable housing cost for the month. So how do you decide? Chapter 5. Making the decision. Renting versus buying. Homeownership is a personal journey for each individual. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. You can make the decision for yourself by looking at 3 major factors: your personal situation, your lifestyle preferences, and your long-term versus short-term priorities. So first is your personal situation. Here are the scenarios where renting might be more advantageous. For young professionals who are starting their careers and who want to retain the flexibility of mobility in terms of either job requirement or in search of better jobs, would appreciate the flexibility that comes with renting an apartment or a home. Renting allows them to look for and go after job opportunities wherever they may appear in the US without being constrained by homeownership. Renting can also be an excellent choice for those with uncertain long-term plans. If you are uncertain about settling in a particular area or not sure about your long-term housing needs or want to wait for your partner or spouse to come into your life and make the decision jointly, then renting is a great short-term option. Renting is also very advantageous for those who are not ready yet to commit to the financial aspects of homeownership. See, a mortgage is typically a 30-year long commitment. Many want the flexibility and the time to save for the right kind of down payment so that when time comes, they can buy the right kind of house. Second, very important criteria is the lifestyle preferences. So renting provides the level of flexibility that homeownership typically can't. If you anticipate frequent job changes, job hopping, moving from city to city, traveling frequently, trying out different cities for weather, for all those scenarios, renting provides you the right kind of flexibility. On the other hand, if you want to establish roots in a community, raise a family, or get a sense of belonging to a community, then homeownership can provide you with the opportunity to have that sense of belonging and permanence that is required. Owning a home allows you to invest in the community, build long-lasting relationship with neighbors and local institutions. Also consider your financial aspirations and long-term wealth-building objectives. While renting may offer immediate affordability and lower upfront cost, homeownership can provide you with an opportunity to build equity in the home and benefit from price appreciation over time. Buying a home can be a stepping stone towards a more secured financial future and an improved net worth. And of course, as discussed, you should also evaluate your inclination towards taking the maintenance responsibilities that come with homeownership. Like we discussed, homeowner has to be responsible for a lot of things that goes on with maintaining the home and the related infrastructure. If that sounds too difficult for you or you are not ready for that, renting may be a better option for you. And the third one, which is very important, is to consider short-term versus long-term perspective. In your personal situation currently, do you worry more about short-term or long-term? If you do not have savings, if immediate affordability is more important to you, if you are not ready for the unpredictability that comes with owning a home where some sudden maintenance requirements and expenses may crop up, then renting may be the right option for you for the time being. On the other hand, if you do not want to just take a short-term view where renting may be beneficial, but take a long-term view, it has its own unique advantages. A long-term advantage of homeownership is a predictable housing cost. In the US, homeowners typically take 30-year mortgages. That means their monthly mortgage is more or less fixed for the next 30 years. Renters, on the other hand, may face continuous rent increases based on market conditions. Having a fixed, predictable housing expense can allow a homeowner to have ease and stability in their financial life. Owning a home also provides homeowners with an asset that can be leaned on, though not preferable, but can be leaned on for financial endeavors. You can tap into the equity in the house in form of a home equity line of credit and use it to fund various things like home repairs, education, or a business venture. This added financial flexibility can be very beneficial over time. Remember, the decision to buy or rent a home is a significant one, and one must consider both financial as well as the emotional aspects before arriving at a decision. Whatever path you choose, I wish you all the best in finding a place to call home and achieve your housing and financial goals. Thank you for joining me in this journey of doing the rent versus buy analysis. If you like this video, check out this other video. If you found it helpful, please do give a thumbs up to this video and share it with other people. I will also appreciate if you can subscribe to the channel. Thank you.